All right, so the recording is on. I believe we are good to go. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Georgi Penev. I'm the director of the Bulgarian Fintech Association. I hope you hear me well and you see my screen as well. So today we'll have a discussion on Sofia Fintech matrix or mapping. And we'll be talking about, so obviously we'll be talking about the fintech landscape in Bulgaria and in particular in Sofia. For this webinar, just wanted to let you know that we have it on the records, meaning that we are recording it. So if you want to participate, you can do so by raising your hands, and we'll give you the stage to ask whatever you like, or you can simply write it on the right hand side in the chat where you see it. And just wanted to let you know that by attending this webinar, you're giving your formal consent to be part of it. I mean, for us from the Bulgarian Fintech Association and Innovative Software to use your information when it comes to your email address and name. To use it for our marketing purposes. And by marketing purposes, I mean we will have we keep our rights to send you a newsletter, to send you some follow-ups on this specific webinar. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this session. And okay, I think we are good to go. We already covered all the check boxes. And let's start. So this webinar will be led by me, Georgi Penev, and we have two guests today. One of them is our partner, Innovative Sofia, with whom we delivered this project, this Sofia Fintech Matrix. So the matrix itself, it was a joint collaboration in that sense with them. And on the other side, we have the European Digital Finance Association, which is an association uniting the digital finance in Europe. And we have Maria from this organization. She's the president of this association. So she will share some of her thoughts and experience on the European digital finance market. All right, so this is the agenda for today. First, we will be talking about who are we, then what is this thing, fintech, and how does the fintech look like in Europe. Then we will share our thoughts on why Bulgaria, why do we think fintech is a nice way to approach our economy and just to work on it. And the fourth topic will be the ecosystem, the fintech ecosystem in Bulgaria, and in specific, I'll give the word to Sofia, sorry, to Anna to talk about Sofia as the capital of Southeastern Europe fintech. And then I'll give the floor to Maria, the president of the European Digital Finance Association, who will share her thoughts on the EU fintech landscape. So first thing first, who are we? First, the organizer of these events, the Bulgarian Fintech Association. We are an NGO uniting the fintech businesses all around the southeastern Europe, meaning that we unite companies in the sector of digital finance in the southeastern Europe or in countries such as Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Macedonia, and so on. At the moment, we have, as of October 2020, we have 48 members, among which are MasterCard, Borica, Paynetics, and so on and so forth. And what we have as a main goal is to represent and safeguard the values of the fintech companies within the region. We are also a founding member of the European Digital Finance Association. And now a few words about the European Digital Finance Association. And I believe Maria will share a bit more about it. But as the foundations of this association were laid in 2019 in February, I believe, and the founding members of this association are 13 national fintech associations, among which are obviously we, the Bulgarian Fintech Association, the Hungarian one, the Spanish one, Belgium, Italy, all around Europe. We have representatives, and one of our main objectives there is to help create a digital single market for financial services within the EU, meaning that we are in a close collaboration with being part of the European Digital Finance Association. We are in close collaboration with the European Commission, the European Parliament, and so on. So what we are striving for is to simply lobby about our interests on a national and subnational level, and by subnational level I mean the EU. And last but not least, the EDFA is helping European companies to compete on the global market. And now a few words about Innovative Sofia. Anna, would you like to join?
Sure. Thank you very much, Georgi. Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Georgieva, and I'm part of the team of Innovative Sofia, the newly established Digitalization, Innovation, and Economic Development Department of Sofia Municipality. We're very, very happy to be collaborating again with the Bulgarian Fintech Association on the creation of the map, the Fintech map of Sofia in Bulgaria, and to be part of this webinar. So a couple of words about us. As I mentioned, I'm part of the newly established Digitalization, Innovation, and Economic Development Department of Sofia Municipality. And the first time in its history, Sofia has a deputy mayor in charge of this new department. Our main goal is to support Sofia's development as a smart, digital, innovative, and technologically advanced city. Before joining the new department, our team for almost 4 years was part of Invest Sofia, the Sofia investment agency, and our tasks were related to the business development and investment promotion of Sofia. Also, we worked for a recognizable brand of Sofia as a digital and innovative hub and a preferred destination for the businesses. And we started collaborating with the Fintech Association from our times with Invest Sofia. And we're very glad that we continued in the same way. That's us in a nutshell.
All
and
right.
I'll tell you more about us later.
Okay, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to work with you guys. So let's move forward, and I'll be talking now about just a bit about the European Union's market. And here we have to mention that first, the European Union consists of about 513 million people, and we have a coverage of 90% of the internet access. So it's something that is like a precondition to be talking about digital markets at all. Then the second precondition is that we have here within the EU, we have 60% of the goods and services have been ordered online in 2018, which is about twice, even more than twice, than the world average, meaning that a lot of people within the EU are internet friendly, and they do use internet, and so they create this perfect environment for the development of digital markets. And of course, one of the most important things when we are talking about FinTech Europe are the unicorns of this union. So here you see a couple of them, and I don't really think that I have to mention eFront, N26, Klarna, and so on. So here you can check some of the other preconditions when it comes to fintech within the EU. And for me, what is the most important is the fintech adoption rate. The 68% that you see in the third bullet. For me, this is really important just because it shows how well developed and how well received the fintech services here on the continent. The next thing is the next slide is about Bulgaria. So here, I just wanted to mention some of these most important parts when it comes to geopolitics, when it comes to business climate. And what I mean by geopolitics is that we, the Bulgarians and the Bulgarian government, the Bulgarian country is part of the EU. It's a full member state of the EU, NATO, and the World Trade Organization, meaning that we are in a perfect place, let's say, when we're talking about geopolitics. And the second thing that is really that's really nice for the companies is the business climate here. We have 10% corporate income tax rate, which is one of the, it's not the lowest, okay, but it's still one of the lowest within the region of the EU. And something really important that many people probably are missing out is that we have national currency, although it's called the Bulgarian lev, it's still fixed to the euro. Meaning that it is as stable and secure as the European currency, which is, I believe, a huge plus. So how can we talk about fintech or digital markets within this small country if we don't have internet, fast internet, and IT guys? So in that sense, we have the seventh fastest mobile internet speed in the world. I believe we also have one data from a bit more recent data that we just have, like the fastest mobile internet speed in the world. But I'll simply have to dig in about this information for the next presentation. And when it comes to the quality of IT personnel, we are the 12th among the countries with the best developers in the world based on 550 technical assessments. And another thing that is really important, and we, the Bulgarian Fintech Association, we are really proud of, is the Fintech Master degree, which just has started at the Sofia University, our most prominent university. So for all the things that I just mentioned, we've been called a couple of times the Silicon Valley of the Southeastern Europe region. And what you see on this slide are the really famous Financial Times, Deutsche Welle, Forbes. These media, they all pointed us as one of the best places to be when it comes to fintech and when it comes to IT. So another thing that is really important for us and what I believe is important for the IT sector itself is the knowledge workers. This rating, it's I do believe it's really important because that's how you show how well prepared are your personnel. In that sense, we've been ranked 27th out of 279 European regions. So how did you achieve this? The answer for me is pretty easy. It's education. What we have is 180,000 university students, and I'll not go into details about what you see now on this screen because my colleague Anna will do so in the next slides. So let me just mention a few words about the ecosystem. Basically, in 2020, we have pointed out and we found 102 fintech companies operating within the region of Bulgaria, where we have the leading subsector, payments, this payment segment. But what for me is important out of this slide is that we are covering all 10 segments. the international fintech segments that we do know. And something that is really interesting as well is that we have 90 plus fintech support companies, and by fintech support companies, I meant the companies that are in the IT development sector, and they do provide fintech solutions. They create them, they deliver them to the customers, but they're not their main business. They're not their main revenue stream in that sense. So I'm giving the floor to Anna, who will discuss Sofia as the capital of the Southeastern fintech. Go ahead, Anna.
Thank you, Georgi. Just a second, I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to wait for you.
So I'm unsharing mine, so you can go.
Yep.
Go on.
So, Georgi, thank you very much for the overview of some of the key statistics about Bulgaria. Now, I'm going to speak more about Sofia as the capital of Southeastern fintech. Just a couple more words about us as Innovative Sofia. Our focus, as I mentioned, is on digitalization, innovation, including e-services and pilot projects, but also economic development. And the IT and also the fintech sector are two of the key priority industries for the development of the city. So just a couple of numbers about Sofia. As you all know, Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria and the biggest economic hub in the country. The city has a population of almost 1.7 million people with the surrounding areas, and here is concentrated 40% of Bulgaria's GDP and 50% of the foreign direct investment. Also, 25% of the labor force are situated here in Sofia. So Sofia has one of the most rapidly growing and developing innovative startup, entrepreneurial, and also creative ecosystems in Europe. So Sofia is developing as a recognized partner in innovation and co-innovation to many businesses and countries around the world. A couple of months ago, FDI Intelligence issued its new ranking of the tech city of the future. And we are very happy that Sofia ranked 20th among the most technological cities in Europe. As you see, Sofia is ahead of Milan, Prague, Tallinn, Krakow, which are known for their tech development, especially Tallinn. Okay. Georgi mentioned a bit about the education. So there are over 100,000 university students in Sofia, and around 40% of those are majoring in STEM-related fields like IT, technologies, engineering, and so on. 51% of the population has a university degree, which is a very high percentage. And also Bulgaria ranks, Sofia ranks 28th out of 400 cities in the world in English proficiency. Another interesting fact is that around 1/3 of all the young people between 15 and 35 years old know at least one or two additional foreign languages. So it's English and most often German, French, Russian, which is also a competitive advantage for people here in Sofia. There is also a new fintech master's degree, which Georgi mentioned, so congratulations on that. Dual education is becoming more and more important, and more universities are working with the business in order to create the best specialists. If we speak about tech talent in Sofia, according to Skill Value, Bulgaria and Sofia have the 12th best developers in the world. And also Sofia ranks 27th out of almost 300 European regions in number of people that are involved in brain jobs. So Sofia is service-oriented and also more and more tech, innovation, and R&D oriented. And that's a trend that's going to stay. If we speak about the ICT sector, as I said, it's very prominent, and it creates almost 20% of Sofia's economy. 12% of Sofia's workforce work in the sector, and it's interesting that around 30% of the employed are women, which is almost twice as high as the average level for the European Union. Again, 90% of the companies, the ICT companies in Bulgaria, and 86% of the specialists are concentrated here in Sofia. So Sofia is really the IT hub of Bulgaria. It's also the second, around 10 fastest growing tech hubs in Europe, and will soon host one of the new next generation computers of the EU, which will further support the development of the sector. As I mentioned, Sofia is also a startup and tech hub, and with its 650 plus startup and scale-ups, many of which are in the fintech sector, it's also the third largest tech hub in Central and Eastern Europe by number of VC funds. And interestingly, 15% of all those startups are in the deep tech sector, meaning AI, robotics, aerospace, fintech, biotech, all tech. There are some more numbers about the ecosystem, which continues to grow. You see a growing number of incubators, funds, co-working spaces, and international R&D centers that more and more recognize Sofia as a valued partner and destination for R&D and high value-added industries and activities. Here is the top 10 fintech locations of the future ranking, which Georgi also mentioned briefly, where Sofia outperformed 52 locations from all around the world. And actually, Sofia is one of the fastest growing fintech destination in Central and Eastern Europe. And Georgi will give you some more statistics on the fintech sector in Sofia a little bit later. Communication, collaboration, and community are also a key factor for the development of Sofia's ecosystems. And there are many clusters, associations, and supporting organizations that collaborate with each other and create a community, both on a more formal and informal level, which facilitates co-creation and ideation in the city. And here are two examples of the dedication of Bulgaria and Sofia to technology. First of all, in the beginning of the year, the Ministry of Finance announced that soon Sofia will have its own tech sandbox, and it's going to be the first of its kind in Southeastern Europe. And on a municipal level, the Sofia Council recently accepted the digital transformation strategy for Sofia for the upcoming years. And we are very happy because our team worked very hard for the creation of this document alongside with consultants from the European Commission and the great support of over 100 representatives of the local ecosystem. And I guess that some of the guests at the webinar today, they also participated in the creation of the strategy. So thank you very much for that. And last but not least, I would like to finish with a quote from a foreigner who has a business here in Sofia about the genuinely excited software engineers and developers there are here in Sofia, and that it takes a special kind of person and team to be able to keep innovating and pushing to deliver and to have that craftsmanship and a desire to win.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Anna. So, oh, sorry, you can just share your contacts, but you have it in the end as well, so no worries.
Yeah, so just don't hesitate to contact us.
Perfect. All right. Just
I'm stopping my share.
Perfect, and I'll share my screen. All right. I hope you see my screen once again.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll be talking now about, in specific, about the fintech mapping that we've done together with Innovative Sofia. So what you see here is the full mapping, and I'll go into details about both parts. So the very first part is the one that we mapped all of the fintech companies in Bulgaria. We also have put some of the so-called support for fintechs or the IT development companies there from the on the right hand side, top right corner. So I see that the resolution and the quality of the image here is not perfect, but I'll make sure that you all get the chance to see the original of this file. So you see it in perfect colors, and it's not going to be it's not going to look like this. Anyway, so as you can see here, we have 10 segments of the fintech in Bulgaria. Just like I mentioned before, the payments and billing sector is the biggest one, where we have the most companies, among which are Bank, DatexPay, Iris Solutions, Paysera, Fire, Paynetics, Tide, Paysafe. We have more than 35 of them there. And then we have the capital markets, which is a fair share of this mapping, the lending sector, of course, with their representatives, Clear, Certified Credissimo, Cash Credit. I know that you probably have heard most of them. Then what I just wanted to point out here is that we also in the mapping, we also have the infrastructure companies. I mean, these are the companies in that small box. These are the one of the biggest companies actually, Mastercard, Visa, and of course we have Borica as well. But why we have put them here is that they're also fintechs, but in a sense that they do provide fintech technologies. But we have put them in a segment called infrastructure because this is what they're doing actually. Of course, we have a typo here. Don't mind it. We will fix it for the next event. So and once again, the last words about this part is that we have this healthy diversification. I'm not quite sure how to say this in English, but still it looks pretty nice. It's really promising sector, I believe, and we are hoping that we'll see more of these companies to appear in the next few years. And so the next part of the mapping is the supporting, let's say, the supporting sector of fintech, of the fintech ecosystem. And here Anna also mentioned some of these organizations and institutions. And I'll simply point out some of the entrepreneurial organizations such as BESCO, MoveBG, Able. Some of the accelerators are really important for the fintechs. And here we have Visa 11 program, Elevator Lab by Raiffeisen Bank. We really have some nice initiatives that are helping fintechs within the region. And last but not least, an important part of this supporting ecosystem is the VC funds and all of these venture capital funds, investment funds. We have 14 of them in Bulgaria, and actually we'll have a more structural analysis of these investments in one of our next initiatives. It's the fintech annual reports that we will launch in the next weeks. And on the right hand side, we have some supporting organizations which Anna have already mentioned. I'm not going to stop there. We have the universities, schools, media, and last but not least, the events and conferences, which are gathering all of this talent pool that is so needed when it comes to developing a business plan, the fintech business plan, and so on and so forth. And on the next box that we have mapped is the governmental parts, let's say. These are the regulators in Bulgaria that are dealing with, in some way, with fintech, whether they regulate them or whether they give them some kind of licenses. We have all of them here. In a nutshell, there are four. We have the Bulgarian National Bank, which is taking care of the banking sector, meaning all the payments, all the billing companies. And then we have the Financial Supervision Commission, which is taking part of, which is taking this regulation for the non-banking sector. On the other hand, we have Комисия за защита на лични данни, or this is the Commission for protecting personal data. And we also have the state agency, the so-called DANS in Bulgaria. This is part of the Ministry of Interior, and they're taking care of anti-money laundering processes and so on and so forth. And just wanted to, so once again, this is the fintech map. It looks like this, and you see it and you receive it as a mail right after this event. But just wanted to stress a bit more about the fintech regulation in Bulgaria, something which Anna briefly mentioned. Just like I said, we have two main regulators in the non-banking sector, in the banking sector as well. And what is really important is that we have two initiatives that are trying to foster, and they're built in that way to foster the development and creation of fintech companies. So when we are talking about the Financial Supervision Commission, we have the Innovation Hub, which is a place where if you have, let's say, an insurtech idea, a pitch deck for a startup, you can simply go to them and propose this idea to them, and they can help you with telling you what exactly are the regulations that you have to be in compliance with. So it is a really nice tool for all the startups, all the fintech startups in Bulgaria. So I do believe that that many companies will use this much more in the near future. And on the other side, we have the banking sector and the BNB, or the Bulgarian National Bank. So they announced this February that they'll have a regulatory sandbox. We're still looking forward to it. Hopefully they'll do it, they'll create it soon. And we, the Bulgarian Fintech Association, we have already send them a letter that we would like to be part of it. Hopefully they'll get us, they'll get the private sector in the creation of this sandbox as well. And now I'm giving the floor to Maria, the president of the European Digital Finance Association. Maria, you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm trying to.
So would you like to share?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes. I don't know if you can see me as well, because I.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Go.
Try to. I must have not to take much of the time. I must have declined the due to privacy. I must have declined previously access to camera, to Zoom application. So this is something I have to change while I'll be talking. But thanks again for inviting me. And I was really amazed at the work of your mapping, because I know how painful these activities usually are. I know that, for example, in the Czech Republic, where I work at the Fintech Association, we've been trying to do a proper mapping for almost 3 years. We did some last year, but it's not as detailed as yours. So once again, congratulations to that. And
am I the only one who cannot hear her?
I think we lost Maria.
Yes, I think so. Maria, you're still there? Can you hear us? Yeah, probably she has some difficulties with the internet. In the meantime, I'll use this per yes, she's joining once again. I'll use this per minute just to mention briefly that this event it's held in English because we started a whole series of events that are related to promoting Bulgaria as a fintech destination. Maria, you're back.
Yes, I'm back.
Yes, go
I'm
ahead.
not in Portugal, no, not in San Francisco, but I don't know what you get from my introduction, and I had to switch on.
Pretty much
nothing.
nothing. Yeah,
Nothing. Okay. So once again, thank you for having me. And I wanted, first of all, to congratulate you on the mapping, because I know how painful such exercises are. We haven't done as detailed mapping as in the Czech Republic, where I work in the association, as you have. And this is something, I mean, the mapping that awaits the European Digital Finance Association quite soon. So yours diligence will be welcomed when we try to create a picture of the fintech or digital finance in Europe. Just to add a couple of information to what you have already said about the European Digital Finance Association. The idea came from several associations some time ago, because since the fintech sector, it's difficult to say when it started, but there were many companies that using technology in the financial sector for many years, and the definition of fintech is very vague. But still, there are many new entrants to the markets that were not represented as strongly as the banking sector. So this last year, 13 associations met in Brussels and decided to join forces and be represented as one voice vis-a-vis European Commission, the Parliament, and other institutions. Because as you know, most of the regulation comes in the financial sector comes from Brussels. Of course, then it is implemented in member states, especially when it comes to directives, in a way that is not very favorable to fintechs, as you know, and which leads to fragmentation. But we decided with the 13 associations to establish ETFA. We did so. We were actually happy to, lucky to meet in Brussels in February. It was my last travel this year with a plane. We launched ETFA, but even before we were with the associations, we were quite active, and we sent the European Commission our statements, and I was and Georgi as well. We were quite happy to see that most of our proposals were reflected in the digital finance package that the European Commission presented on September 24th. It's a package of several proposals for regulations and directives, as well as two strategies. The first, very general strategy for digital finance, and a strategy for retail payments. And I have to say, this is a work that will take, I guess, until the end of this commission. So ETFA has a lot of work to do, and I hope all of members, including your companies, will be happy to join sending comments on the regulation. So as you can understand probably from my very long introduction, our main goal of the Digital Finance Association is to shape EU regulations so that it's more favorable towards digital finance. We did not use the word fintech on purpose, because this is my opinion. I'm not sure if everyone shares it, but it's digital finance is more it comprises of all the companies that are delivering financial services in modern, innovative ways, which for me, for example, can also be banks. So this is one of the reasons why we chose not to use the word fintech, as in opposition to banks, because banks are also, of course, not all, but some of them in some countries are the engines of digitization in the financial sector. So what are our four goals? With ETFA, first of all, we want to get rid of the fragmentation on the single market for financial services. You can probably, you know it yourself, that, for example, when it comes to digital onboarding and identification, member states because we have only directive under regulation, member states can allow only specific types of digital onboarding, and this is causing problems not only for customers who, for example, in the Czech Republic cannot use video identification, cannot use biometrics to identify themselves while using financial services, but also it's impeding the scaling up process of fintechs across Europe, because if onboarding is allowed in one country, it may not be allowed in another country. So this type of fragmentation is really preventing European fintechs from scaling up. This fragmentation also pertains to licensing, for example, and sandboxing. So this is something that two things that we raised as problems to the Commission, and I was happy to see that the Commission pointed it as one of the goals they want to work on. The second goal is to prepare the regulation for modern innovative technologies. And in the package presented by the Commission, we have two proposals. One is about, I mean, we have many proposals, but one is about the markets in crypto assets, and another one is on a specific regime for trying out services based on DLT. And we can expect in 2 years' time another proposal on AI in financial services. The third goal of ETFA is to work towards open finance, which is an idea, I guess I don't have to explain that much to you, but it's based on, it's like an extension to open banking, where we would like the Commission to open other data that is now hidden on other types of accounts or in other financial products, such as insurance or investments. And this opening of data or accounts could also be extended to some telecommunication information, and this, for example, could help fintechs use NFC payments or data from, or make it easier to use NFC payment, contactless payments, and use the data to create new business models, because this is something that we also want to work with ETFA. So it's not only regulation, but we want to support the ecosystem, because and this is probably the underlying goal of why we are doing it. We want European digital finance companies to compete on the global market with, first of all, by opening the huge markets, as Georgi mentioned, a huge European market to European companies. It's more than 500 million consumers, but it's also around 25 million small and medium-sized enterprises. And if European companies are allowed to compete on the European market, then of course they can scale up to global markets. Yes, so this is basically a short introduction about the goals of ETFA. When it comes to our tasks, definitely we are planning to, we are actually working already on mapping of fintechs and digital finance companies in Europe, because this is something that will help us better understand the needs of European companies, but it also will help us arguing or presenting our viewpoint vis-a-vis Commission when we know how many companies there are, in fact, in Europe, what the needs are, and how big the market is. And you probably know that fintech companies are the most invested companies in when it comes to European startups. So definitely there is a huge potential, and especially we have to help fintech companies in terms of investment into that, because most of the so far most of the investments were into British companies. Of course, Germany and Sweden is also high on the list, but with the Brexit, there is definitely a lot of space where investors can find interesting companies on the European market. And we also have to remember that digital finance, of course, for companies who provide services, our goals deleting the harmonization and other regulatory goals is something that will help them. But on a higher level, on the political level, digital finance is a means to implement other policies. For example, everyone knows after the pandemic that digital finance can help consumers in so many ways. For example, by allowing companies to identify the customers vis-a-vis bank or fintech ID, etc. Digital finance can also open new sources of financing. For example, when we are using decentralized finance, then we can open new sources of financing that are not available as of now. And once we have the new sources of financing, we can support innovation. We can support the Green Deal that the European Union and its members are talking about. So digital finance in itself is also a means to implement other political priorities of the EU. So I don't know if you already have any more questions. If any of the participants does, of course I'm here to answer them, and I'll be looking forward to cooperating with you.
All right, thanks so much, Maria. So far in the chat we don't have any questions, but of course there is a Q&A session at the end of this event. I'll simply share my screen once again to move forward to the very last slide, which is the one with our contact details. In that sense, I'll send them over, so you can simply get in contact with either me, myself, Maria, and sorry I missed here Anna, but we had her in the previous slides. So you have all these contacts. So if you want to get in contact with any of the participants in this, the speakers of this event, you're more than welcome to do so. And in the end, what I can say about the fintech mapping is that what we've seen today is only the Sofia's fintech mapping. Our capital city, just like Anna already said, it's the most developed one. Here we have the biggest share of the market when it comes to fintech, but as a next step, we will have Bulgaria's fintech mapping, where we will put all of the fintech companies within the region of our country. Thank you once again, Maria, for your presentations, for what you just said about EDFA. But can you mention a bit about Hungary and what is the fintech landscape looking like at the moment there?
Of course, maybe not Hungary, but Czech Republic. This is something I'm more comfortable with. Well, the landscape is that Czech Republic is the first when it comes to contactless payments in Europe. So there is not much space for companies who would like to enter this space. Where the Czech Republic is strong in terms of fintechs are two areas. First is cybersecurity. We have a very strong technical university in Prague and Brno, and a lot of policy documents and strategies are working towards using this advantage, this scientific and business advantage. And we have a couple of interesting startups using, for example, machine learning and AI to prevent cybersecurity attacks on banking and financial infrastructure. And the second area is surprisingly maybe decentralized finance, which is again divided into two sort of competing camps. One is a quite strong but very ideological part of companies which are into crypto assets and especially Bitcoin. And the other part is more about decentralized finance. And what is quite interesting in cooperation with the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Industry and Trade and Fintech Association and an initiative called the Blockchain Republic, we proposed a use case at the level of the EU to use DLT to issue bonds on DLT, and this is now an official EU use case that was voted for by most of the member states, and Czech companies will definitely be helping with promoting this use case. So these are two areas where the Czech fintechs are pretty strong, where there is a potential for growth is definitely in financing small and medium-sized enterprises using modern instruments, because in consumer area there are a lot of services that are already ready to use, but the small and medium-sized enterprises are now just being discovered by fintechs, and we can see that a lot of companies are appearing on the market that are addressing this target group, especially I think in the post-COVID situation, when companies are on the brink of closing up and waiving up. Such fintech solutions are really in for a big success. When it comes to number of fintech companies, we did our very general mapping, and there are around 150 fintech companies. Of course, it really depends on how you define fintech, but let's say 150. It was the number that we arrived at, and they are usually active in the buy now, pay later services. Other are providing infrastructure to banks, and the other two areas I mentioned, which is the DLT, crypto assets, and cybersecurity. So this is shortly about the fintech ecosystem in the Czech Republic.
All right, thank you so much. Hopefully we will have another chance to talk about the Czech fintech ecosystem. So one question to the audience. Do you have questions to us? Would you like to ask something? I see Vladimir Dramaliev. He's part of the crypto world in Bulgaria. He's really into it. So he also have a suggestion when we visit the Czech Republic. So yes, guys, just don't be shy. If you have any questions, we're here for you. You're more than welcome. Either write them in the chat, or simply raise a hand, or just unmute yourself and shoot. I see that there is no interest at the moment. Once again,
Georgi, maybe while we are
yes.
waiting, maybe some questions will come up. I would just like to mention a couple more things. Thank you, Maria, for all the detailed information. You mentioned that you want European companies to compete on the global market, and that's something that we also strive, also as part of the European market. And we really hope that the metrics that we worked on, this mapping, it will be useful in showcasing the rapidly developing ecosystem here, and would be a useful instrument to increase the awareness and spread the word of locally and internationally about what's going on here in the fintech sector. And we really hope that all of you who participated in this webinar will be using this document when they speak about themselves, their companies, and them being part of the local system, to show that they're part of a robust and developed fintech sector. Also, Georgi mentioned that it's a first of several upcoming events dedicated to that. And I also wanted to say that it's one of the matrices that also our team is developing on the different priority sectors. In Sofia also will publish the FinTech matrix on our website, where you can download it, and stay tuned for other upcoming matrices on tech sectors coming soon.
All right,
and thanks again to the FinTech Association for this nice collaboration and for co-organizing this lovely webinar.
All right, thank you so much, Anna. It's always a pleasure to work with you guys. And we have one question from Vlad that is related to crypto businesses in the EU. Do banks in other EU member states serve crypto businesses, and what is the regime? And in specific, he wanted to ask this question. Okay, don't worry, but still, it's crypto is part of the fintech, so he wanted to know a bit more about the situation in the Czech Republic. However, I do know that Maria has a small baby, so I don't want to interrupt her. And in that sense, she could simply write a mail to you. We will have your mail anyways. Maria, can you?
Well, I'll definitely, but yes, this I think this is the best solution. If you have if your colleagues have specific questions about the crypto markets and the regulation of crypto markets on the Czech market, I will be happy to help. Definitely, a lot will change with the new regulation that the Commission proposed, but of course, it will take several years to implement it in member states. So. Well, just a sentence of a summary how the situation, what the situation looks like in the Czech Republic. We don't have any specific sandboxing for crypto assets. We don't have any specific regulation. It's just that there are a lot of companies in the crypto assets, especially Bitcoin and the other crypto money. That which is connected, focused around one institute of crypto anarchy. This is, well, I don't want to go into much detail, but there are a lot of crypto businesses because a lot of people, especially in Prague, around this crypto anarchy institute believe in decentralized finance and decentralized everything. But on the part of the regulator, there is no specific support for such businesses. But if you have any specific questions, just let me know via email, and I'll be happy to help you and give you more insight.
Perfect. Yes, I see that this answer was more than satisfying for him. So you can just continue this discussion in written. Maria, you will receive Vlad's mail and vice versa. So I do believe that probably the webinar has been on for about an hour now. I believe we can put the full stop here. Thank you once again for the participation. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Anna. Especially Anna and you guys from the Innovative Sofia. You've done an amazing work with this, and I hope we work in the future on some new projects. And of course, I'm looking forward to another matrix, this time for 2021, of course. All right.
Sure. And big thanks to Blaga for designing this huge matrix.
Yes,
our designer.
Of course, you'll get a copy of the presentation. Yes, you can get it. I'll send it over with a follow-up email right after the event. I'll send you over this recording as well, and you'll be able to find it. Yes, of the recorded event, you'll be able to find it either on our website, actually both on our website and our YouTube channel, the Bulgarian Fintech Association. So yes,
it too.
Yeah, of course, perfect. Then yeah, you'll be available to, and this recording will be available to everybody. Just like I already mentioned, this webinar is just one step of our efforts towards promoting Bulgaria as a fintech destination and promoting our ecosystem and this fintech sector in the country. And just about one last word about our next event on 15th of October, meaning just next week. Around this time, we will have another discussion, but this time it will be led by the European Digital Finance Association, and it's going to be on on digital finance package that was just launched by the European Commission. Maria already said about it, but we'll have another great discussion about it. And we'll have a representative of the European Commission. I'll send you over an invitation to this event as well. You can find all of the details about this upcoming event on our webpage and on our social media. And last but not least, I'll keep you updated with the progress with our fintech master's degree, which has already started. Yesterday actually was our very first lecture, and I'll send you. I'll even create a post about it and an article in our website, so you'll be more than welcome to take a look at it. And if you're finding it interesting, we can find a way for you to be part of it. I mean, live, something like a live web streaming or something like this. We can find many ways to do so. So thank you once again to all of you guys. Yes, Vlad, if you want to be part of the package, you're more than welcome. I mean, to the discussion of the package, you're more than welcome to do so. Right, Maria?
Yes, of course. It's an open event next Thursday at 11, if I'm not mistaken, and everyone is welcome to ask any question to the representatives of the Commission. And there's, I know that Mika, it's one of the most discussed proposal for regulation, and this is the markets and crypto assets. So definitely it will be a lot of space to talk about crypto and DeFi.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So some of the lawyers of the community, perfect. Vlad, I would like to discuss this topic with you once again, and let's see what we can do from our side and how can we assist you to get in contact straight to the European Commission, because we already have this communication with them on these topics. All right. I think that's everything for now. Just stay tuned and see you guys later, soon. All right.
Soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.